As a leader, you've probably got a lot on your plate, juggling a lot of competing priorities, including managing a team. You might ask yourself, how do I most effectively support my team? How do I create an inclusive environment for them? How can I make sure to bring my A game as a leader every day? Considering we're in the fourth industrial revolution, things are moving at such a rapid pace that it's hard for leaders to have all the answers. But as a leader, we know our employees depend on us to use technology, tools, and processes in order to make things run as smooth as possible. And I should know, I've been a Magellan leader for a little over a year now, and I've picked up a lot from that time. One of the things I've done is to learn about technology and resources that have been made available to me by our HR and IT teams. This has not only helped me know where to go when I have questions, but also where to direct my team members when they have them as well. I'd like to share some of what I've learned with you today. Now I know you've likely worn multiple hats before, but when you have a team of direct reports, two of those hats are that of a leader and that of a manager. Did that last statement just throw you? Are you asking yourself, what's the difference between a leader and a manager? Let me tell you how I describe it. When I'm leading people towards their goals and the goals of the team. But when I'm managing work, such as approving timesheets. Both hats are equally important, but today I'm going to highlight some of the critical management tasks that I've learned in the last year. But don't worry, I'm going to also point you in the direction of some leadership resources I've come across as well. So let's get going. Did you know that if an employee leaves the organization, their manager is responsible to terminate them in Workday? Otherwise, that employee continues to receive benefits and pay from Magellan. Or that if an employee's status goes from a contingent or contract worker to full-time employee, the manager must change that status to take effect. So let's talk about how we can support our employees at various times in their Magellan journey. When you hire a new employee, tasks must be completed in Workday for a background check and drug screen to be initiated before that employee even starts. I know we all strive to hire individuals who are curious learners, and training is a big part of any new hire experience. So once an employee starts, development opportunities are available right away. I try to encourage my employees to take advantage of these opportunities to better themselves. Of course, we've also got compliance training, and this is where we need to do a little more than encourage. New and existing employees must complete mandatory training annually, and I use My Team tab in Saba to stay on top of compliance. Let's talk goals. Of course, it's important that you and your employee are on the same page regarding the direction of their work. I've found that my employees need to know where their work fits into the bigger picture. So first, I use Magellan's performance management approach, Performance Connections, to establish goals. Then I use the same approach to stay connected on goal accomplishments, challenges, or changes throughout the year. Did you realize that technically PTO is part of the Magellan benefits package? It is. So when an employee needs to take a day off for personal or sick time, we're the ones who need to approve that time. Remember, at Magellan, our paid time off comes out of one bucket. So whether the day is because an employee is on vacation or just not feeling well, that's all coming from the same place. Your employee will simply submit PTO for the time they're asking, and then from your perspective, you'll manage that request in Workday to keep records up to date and so that the employee knows whether the time was approved or not. As the journey continues, you may hit some more challenging times when you need to manage difficult conversations or situations. These could be things like performance issues or inter-team conflict, or even when an employee needs to go on leave of absence. So when I need assistance, I like to refer to the Employee Relations course located in the Leader Training Center in Sala. There are even resources on having difficult conversations and decision-making on the same page. Another thing to be aware of in these situations, it's not just that you need to have a conversation or make a decision. Sometimes there are system tasks that need to be completed as well. A critical one is leave of absence. When an employee goes out or returns from leave of absence, you must complete that task in Workday to move them to this status. Otherwise, the system is not issuing the correct benefit and/or pay. If you're feeling a bit overwhelmed, try to keep in mind all those resources I mentioned earlier. I often refer to the Job Aids worklet in Workday for step-by-step instructions on how to complete tasks. Another great resource I like to turn to is Vern. Maybe you've heard about this one before. But I found that with all the articles in Vern, I get quick answers to just about all my HR-related questions. And Vern isn't just for managers. I refer my employees to it when they have HR-related questions too. Of course, there's a lot of other tasks that you're managing, and there's a lot more to explore on your quest to understand the technology and resources at your fingertips. As managers, we also need to be continuous learners, so keep going. Make sure to continue by going out to the Leader Training Center on Sava. And here are some of my favorites that are out there. More information on performance connections and managing employee time and pay, guidance to those workday job aids I mentioned, resources to enhance your leadership skills, appreciating team diversity and promoting inclusion, and a lot more. Remember, we're responsible to lead the workforce of the future, and the future is now.